Hello and good afternoon to the 90th edition of Films Division Zone screenings. Today we're going to be looking at this whole idea of waste. Yeah, and I think what I really enjoy most when I curate a package of films is looking forward to the gems that were produced by the FD in the 70s around this whole idea of waste. I also thought it was pertinent to tie it up with the main feature just immediately after the elections, where we're just seeing just phenomenal amounts, not just of money, but even in terms of material. Yeah, and the entire countryside is a veritable garbage dump, really. I mean, just returning from Jamshedpur, and the entire highway to the airport is just strewn with leaflets, campaigning material, posters that have just been discarded. So a nice time to really, I mean, what I'd like to think us to think about today is, how much do we really need? How much do we consume? And how readily we consume without really thinking of the kind of history that we came back, where ancient Indian agrarian society, where we wouldn't waste anything. Yeah, there would always be ways of trying to recycle, whether it's a typical grandma at home trying to do something with a chilka of either the aloo or the cucumber kind of thing. That whole notion of nothing should be wasted. Yeah, to how far we've come today, where in a very consumer society, we're only too happy to use and dump. Yeah, that's personal kind of choices, as well as what's being imposed upon us by corporation, by industry. I mean, we all know how obsolete, say, technology is getting in. Yeah. So what's really nice about the main feature, which is Anirban's Wasted, yeah, it's a 52-minute film, is what starts off as a very personal trigger. Yeah, loss of a friend, of a very dear friend, goes into this whole journey of loss, and how do you from loss to almost rebirth and regeneration. So it's really looking at a much more philosophical way of life, really speaking. Yeah. So I really don't want to say too much about the film. It's not a very long program. We have these 4 short films which were made by the FD. They were called Iska Kya Karen, which is, I mean, I don't know, some of you might remember it from the days of DD. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, I remember as kids, we would go, Iska Kya Kare, Iska Kya Kare. And also, as I was saying to a couple of friends here, is a certain naivety, and a sweetness that they were made. So the times that we're living in is also a nice indicator of how far we've come from back then, where things were far more simple. And yes, if I told somebody, don't throw the chilka out of your house, or like today out of your car, I mean, like today you'll probably just get killed or something like that if you try to point that out to someone. So we have Iska Kya Kare, we have Stick No Bill, we have Suhani Sadak and Towards Cleaner Cities. All these will be on DVD. We'll run them back to back. And the feature, which is Wasted, will run from DV Cam. What's also interesting is to point out is that all these films have been produced by FD. So it's also a very interesting way to look at in terms of the kind of films that FD has produced in the past, is open to be being part of in today's day and age. Yeah. So enjoy Anirban's Wasted. It's beautifully shot. There's a lot to think about, even in terms of filmmaking, even in terms of the craft, even in terms of the actual act of filming. What do we really do when we film something, especially in the whole documentary form of storytelling. Yeah. Thank you. And whoever feels like we can stay back and have a small conversation. In case, for those of you who do not end up staying back, next week we're going to be screening Portrait of a Pioneer, which is a feature-length documentary on V. Shantaram, made by Madhura Jashraj.